The Best Way to Explain It, episode 22. Welcome back for the final episode of 2017. Guys, we have a great show planned, but first, it's the podcast that will accept you if you wear cargo shorts, because that's the kind of people we are.
Wow. You're such a kind human being, because I kick anyone wearing cargo shorts to the curb.
Honestly, I didn't even realize they weren't a thing until, 2 years ago. I still have like 3 pairs.
That's incredible.
Are you going to quit doing this podcast with me?
Yeah,
because of that?
I'm a little uncomfortable right now. I'll get over it.
I'm not wearing them now.
Yeah.
Or am I wearing anything now?
Anyway, let's talk to the
right.
better half that's on this conversation with us.
Hey, that's a good idea. So, if you guys are looking at the title, I believe I've titled this Year End Extravaganza. And basically what that means is this is not your conventional episode. We just, it's the last episode of 2017, and this one is for the fans. And we couldn't really do this without the man that brought to you the music that you just finished listening to. He is Indiana's best hipster, long-haired, man-bunned man. And he has been my best friend since the age of 18. When he finally moved out of our house. And he is my brother, Sam Olson. Sam, how's it going?
Wow, it is just an honor to be here. Blessed beyond compare.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's great to have you.
How does it feel to be lying through your teeth right now?
No, this is a truly honor, Brecken.
It's good to have you on, man.
Yeah. I'm honestly glad to be here.
That's awesome. Yeah, so Sam is actually right in the room with me, so if you guys get any, we're trying to figure out how to not get each other's voices in each other's microphones, but that might not have been successful. I will get it as much out as I can. Yeah, I apologize.
We'll see what happened.
Yeah, he's our sound expert, so if it doesn't work, just blame him. So for today's episode, we got this request from Chris Wozni, who is a guy I know from college, and he requested that we talk about highly debated topics. And so he sent in a very well thought out request with all sorts of fun topics, and we'll get to some of them, but I kind of took some liberties and thought of some other ones. So we're just going to be taking a few different topics and debating them between ourselves. So he, in his request, wrote this. He says, talk about things such as, was the dress black and blue or white and gold? Is Tupac still alive? Were Ross and Rachel on Friends on a break? Best Batman/Joker? Pepsi versus Coke? Did Heisenberg in Breaking Bad die at the end? Could Jack have gotten on the door in Titanic? And he spelled Titanic wrong. Just wanted to point that out.
Calling him out there, jeez.
Yeah, he spelled it with a Y.
Wait, how do you spell Titanic?
What's his major?
I'm pretty sure it's.
Oh shoot, I don't know.
It's all Y's. There's not a single other vowel in there.
No, that's a great point, Brecken.
He forgot the silent B.
Seriously, who is this guy?
Yeah, no, and then he also talked about Bernstein Bears.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Bernstein Bears. I didn't even know that was a thing.
That's super interesting. Yeah, I pointed out this year. It's this huge conspiracy thing that I don't, because what is it to you?
I thought it was EIN.
Right, but it's Berenstain. It's AIN.
What?
Brecken, did you ever read the Berenstain Bears?
And I pronounced it like you just pronounced it. I don't know.
Right,
yeah.
It's this huge I don't know what they call it in culture, but there's this whole thing where it's our whole culture has learned it one certain way, but it's actually been another thing. There's actually a term for it. Because have you guys heard of that Sinbad thing? Where it's
No.
I don't know if you guys know who Sinbad is, but apparently there's this movie out there that Sinbad was supposedly played this genie in a movie.
Yeah.
But this movie doesn't exist.
What?
Like we as a culture, like as a 90s kids have like thought like, oh, we've seen this movie, but it actually doesn't exist at all.
That's weird.
That is, yeah.
This sounds like some sort of government conspiracy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've never actually heard of this, but I thought it was weird because, like, I thought it was just common knowledge that it was the Bernstein or EIN Bears, but he threw that in there. Maybe we'll get into that. And then finally, he talked about should pineapple pizza be legal and so on. So that's kind of the question that Chris posed to each of us. And so what we're going to do is we're going to break down a few of those. And now I took a few that Brecca and I have had fun arguments on over the years.
Indeed.
And I think Sam will have great things to say about them.
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
Are you guys ready to debate?
Oh, yes.
Sam, you ready?
Beyond ready.
All right. So, Sam, because you are the special guest, why don't you pick the first debate that we're going to talk about?
Cool. Man, one that I'm actually pretty passionate about is what's better, Parks and Rec or The Office?
Ouch.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Going straight to the heart.
You want to take this?
Going straight to the heart. Oh, man. I've got to say, for the laughs, I think Parks and Rec executes better. Like, every episode, I'm laughing, whereas The Office is more, like, emotional. Like, they have those emotional episodes where you're like, no, Michael Scott's leaving and stuff like that. But overall series, I'd have to go with The Office.
So you're an Office guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. These two shows are literally my go-to for when I want to fall asleep to Netflix, though. So I'll watch Parks and Rec all the way through, and then I'll watch The Office all the way through, and then just reset.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Sam?
I mean, I have probably watched The Office through, like, I think 25 times is a low estimate. Like, I'm halfway obsessed. Like, I think anything... I think in Office quotes. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so like anything that happens in the world, I'm just like, oh, that was a quote on The Office. And so for me, The Office has done so much, you know, just personally in my own life. So I feel like I definitely have to say The Office. Now, Parks and Rec, I love the certain characters in there. Like Ron Swanson, they've created this like archetype libertarian person that I'm just like, in some ways, I want to be him. Like, he's kind of my, like, spirit animal side. You know what I mean? Like, in The Office, doesn't really have that. But, I don't know. Overall, like, The Office, for me, is just hands down. It's probably the greatest show I think, ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know that's a lot, but...
So, to prevent this yes-manning that's going on, I'm going to say Parks and Rec I like it better. The peaks of Parks and Rec, like season 3, end of season 2, beginning of season 3, you will not find a better run of television than those 15 episodes or so.
That's true.
Every time I watch them, it's hilarious. The scene where Ron Swanson's talking about those steaks that he's eaten in his book about those steaks, like I've never been more in love with the man than when I saw
this
that.
steak is called the Enforcer.
This is the Turf and Turf. It's a 24-ounce porterhouse and a 16-ounce sirloin.
Yeah, but I feel like that. I mean, I love the person of Ron Swanson for sure, and I think he's done a lot. But I think overall, as a narrative, you can't beat what The Office has done. Like, I mean, you can argue even after Steve Carell came on that like there was a definite drop off, but I still love those episodes, and you can't like the finale of The Office. Like I don't think you can think of a better finale in TV.
That's true. That the finale is awesome. And for the record, I like The Office. I think it's a fantastic show. But the reason I put Parks and Rec over is really for the Leslie Ben relationship, because they had the will they won't they, but which was just as good as the Jim Pam relationship. But once the Jim Pam relationship like came together, I became less invested in that, but I thought the Leslie Ben relationship was really interesting after they started dating. I thought they did that really well, which is a difficult thing for shows to do. You know, once they get those main two characters together, a lot of times the show just like loses a bunch of steam.
That's
Right.
true.
But I thought
yeah.
Parks and Rec did that really, really well.
Okay. So you're saying the Office romance is what drives you in your choice?
Sort of, yeah.
Mostly
Well,
Ron
like,
Swanson.
I like
but-
the Jim Pam.
Yeah.
I like the Jim Pam relationship, but like they were just such a perfect couple that it was like it wasn't until season 9 when they started having troubles that I got interested in their relationship again after, you know, season 3. Because like the tension was gone because they were together, and you just knew that they were gonna be, you know, husband and wife.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I get that.
Interesting.
Okay, so you two are The Office. I'm Parks and Rec.
It's a very close
Interesting.
call, I'll be honest.
Honestly, I could throw them both on and be perfectly
Yeah.
happy. And that's a terrible answer to a debate question, but
Well,
that's where
I'm
at.
just glad that they kept Parks and Rec separate from The Office because they were supposed to make
Same.
it a like sequel or an offshoot. Yeah, I'm so
Right.
glad they didn't do that.
But that
So I heard that, but I didn't really even know that was actually.
yeah,
how would that have worked? Because Rashida Jones was Karen on The Office, and then Anne on.
well, I think they
Parks and Rec.
renamed her character after they realized it was going to be okay standalone. You know?
Oh,
yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Wait, so was she like right away? You know what I mean? Like, I'm
She
trying to think what episode
she was
came in and
first episode.
Yeah, she was
'Cause-
first
'cause
episode.
that
she and,
initial-
oh,
she and
right.
Andy.
She was at that town hall meeting.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Right. Ann Perkins.
But if you
Yeah,
think
and
about
plus
it,
Rob Lowe.
Leslie Knope is like the anti-Michael Scott, though.
Really, though.
Because she was a good boss.
So- Yeah, right. And she just like works so hard.
You know, I've heard maybe this is a good offshoot debate question. Was Michael Scott a terrible boss or a good boss?
Terrible.
Terrible? You think?
Oh, he's so bad.
I've heard arguments for him being a good boss.
He got
Okay.
better at the end, but if you watch the first couple
I-
episodes, like it's just like
Okay,
ridiculous.
just skip the entire first season.
Can we do that for
see-
both shows?
That's true,
I
yeah.
like the first season of The Office. Like, I think it adds something. It's hilarious to see the development, though. Like, Kevin has no personality at first, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden he's just like this hilarious.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I think, well, okay, so both first seasons, I think, are obviously, like, the worst
Yeah.
seasons. But I do agree that The Office's first season is, you know, better just because they have episodes like Diversity Day, you know. Like, that one was... Wasn't that first season? Diversity Day?
I don't-
No, that was the
Yeah.
second. That was the second episode.
Oh, never mind. Okay, just ignore what I just said. But I don't know, like, because both first seasons, like, I don't know how they got second seasons after their first season. Like, they were both so
They were.
bad, in my
They
opinion.
were.
I always skip Parks and Rec first season, but The Office I'll always go back.
You know,
It took me like 3 watches to get through Parks and Rec because I could not get through the first season.
No, yeah, I agree with the same thing. But The Office, like, I watched it. I mean, Diversity Day, you can't. I don't know. It's just as funny to me. It's like
Yeah.
his Abraham Lincoln quote. If you are racist, I will attack you with the North.
With the North.
Those are the principles I live by.
Oh my gosh.
oh
Okay,
no.
if any of your fans aren't Office fans or Parks and Rec, you have no idea what we're talking about. Are
Seriously,
gonna be super
I-
bored.
Yeah, watch both shows. It's well worth it.
I think we could just do an entire episode on Parks and Rec versus The Office.
No
as
joke.
you should. As you should.
Yeah. All right. So that kind of wraps up. It's 2-1 The Office. So I suppose by the rules of
Majority.
Year End Extravaganza, you win. I guess that's another reason why we need Sam. Oh, and in case I didn't, did I mention that you created our intro music?
Yeah, you did.
I think you did a little bit at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Okay.
But I
can't
mean,
remember.
I think it's worth repeating, Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so if you like that intro music or if you hate it, you can tell him. So, yeah. So that's our first debate. So I guess but the reason I was bringing that up is because another reason why you're on this particular episode is because you have to settle our debates. Like, I mean, 1v1. I mean, we could end in ties, but I think clearly The Office wins here.
No, I think clearly.
Yeah. So, Brecken.
Yes.
What's our next debate?
You know, when we first started this podcast, we had one particular debate that we had 3 or 4 times, and then it never got into an episode. And
I knew you were gonna go there.
Yeah, I want to hash this out because you and I have differing opinions on this one. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh, yeah. So for background on you, for our audience, so when we started this podcast, we actually started recording. It was like July. Yeah. We started recording like test runs of this podcast because we were trying to figure out what we wanted it to look like. And the beginning of the episode, we always started this with this question: is a hot dog a sandwich? And so Brecken wants to bring it back, and we have to get it on record about what the correct answer is to this question: is a hot dog a sandwich? Brecken, who do you want to go first?
I'll let you go first. Yes.
All right. So, a hot dog is not a sandwich. It's just, that would be a stupid definition of the word. Like, okay, I'd admit that maybe technically it is a sandwich. Like, it follows the technical definition of what a sandwich is, but nobody thinks of it as a sandwich, which I think is a much stronger argument in favor of it not being a sandwich. It's a hot dog.
Yeah.
Right? So I would just say, but intuitively, it's not. Like, nobody's like, oh, I'm going to go eat this sandwich. Like, no. Nobody says that. And so it's just an intuition that I have, and I think most people have, that a hot dog is clearly not a sandwich. Like, a bun doesn't act the same as, 2 pieces of bread, which I would say a sandwich needs to be.
Oh, okay. Sam, you want to go? You want to?
Yeah, it's interesting. I wanted to look up the actual definition of a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
According to Merriam-Webster. And it says, an item of food consisting of 2 pieces of bread with meat, cheese, or other filling between them, eaten as a light meal. Now, I think the legitimate thing here is a hot dog is traditionally, like, if you think of a bun, it just opens up, but it is 1 piece.
Thank you.
So I think with 2 pieces, I don't know if it can be legitimately called a sandwich. Okay. And I don't know, I can't think of another sandwich that doesn't have, like, it has only 1 piece of bread that is, like, thought of. You know what I mean?
You can't? Yeah. Really? Have you ever been to Subway or Jimmy John's?
Yeah.
They use 1 bread to make their sandwiches. They put meat in between a sliced open.
Wait, you're right. You're right. Actually, I didn't think about that. Like,
but those are subs.
Like, okay.
Interesting. So is a hot dog a sub then?
Wow, that dives even deeper. To use your argument against you, Merriam-Webster tweeted out during the great controversy in July that
the great controversy of July 2017
that a hot dog is in fact a sandwich. Now, other areas like the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council of America have stated that a hot dog is not a sandwich, but then they go on to state stuff like, well, if you're going to call Mahatma Gandhi a man, I guess he is a man, so a hot dog is technically a sandwich, like Scott said, but no one's going to call it that. So I'm going to take that route of the hot dog is a sandwich technically by definition, but no one will ever call a hot dog a sandwich unless they want to make someone angry, right?
So basically what you're saying is you and I agree, technically, definitionally, it's a sandwich, but nobody calls it that. But I would say what people call it is way more important than, like, the technical definition.
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
Because
so
but it's like I'm thinking like, how far does it go? Because if you think about that, like pizza is on a piece of like, I mean, technically bread.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that a sandwich? Like, how far does this madness go?
If I fold my pizza in half,
Right.
am I having a pizza sandwich?
No, you're
Right.
having a calzone, and calzones are awful. They're harder to eat than pizza.
Hey. Okay. I'm just gonna applaud that one. That was really
That was
good.
great, yeah. But hey, if Merriam-Webster tweeted it, I'm easily convinced.
Of course
Well,
you are.
They're obsessed with defining things, and they're defining them technically. So when we're saying that,
You could say that Merriam-Webster is obsessed with defining things
you could.
because that is their entire job.
and the chirping begins. And the chirping begins.
Hey,
Oh dear.
that's funny. This dictionary is obsessed with just defining its terms.
Oh dear.
Okay, so just to clarify, Sam, did your vote switch?
Sure, let's go with
A
it.
hot dog is
Okay.
a sandwich, people. You heard it here first.
Oh my gosh.
Or
Just so you know, this is a split opinion of the official host.
Well, to be fair, like that whole like Subway Jimmy John's thing kind of convinced me. I was like, I never thought about
Yeah.
that before. But
Well,
anyway.
in our recorded episode, in our practiced episodes, he made the point about the Philly cheesesteak sandwich, and I conceded that to him.
I was gonna bring that up
so-
if it did not convince Sam. So you know.
Yeah. Okay, you win. Oh, so I'm over 2 at this point.
Dang.
I've been on the wrong side of both of them. All right, so that means I get to choose the next debate because, it just makes sense because we're doing this little round robin
Right.
thing. Okay, so this one, I don't even know if it's a debate because I think it's a pretty clear answer, but does the toilet paper roll go on top or on the bottom?
I hope this is unanimous.
It's
Here-
so clearly
On
on top,
top.
right?
Okay. I actually have I have interesting information. I don't know if you've
Oh
thought about
my
this before.
gosh.
No.
Boo.
So personally, I'm always gonna put it on the top. But what I've heard actually is this line: if you have a cat, you want to do it from the bottom.
Oh.
That way, if like the cat or dog like starts to like go at it, it just like goes around in circles.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So it's like I get that side of it. So it's not as like absurd as like what I actually think it is. I don't know if that's convincing to you or not. But.
Hey,
But do people seriously think like, oh, I better flip this toilet paper roll for my freaking cat?
Scott, I don't speak for the people. I don't know.
But you're a man of the people.
That's fair.
he's our guest. He has to take all the opinions of everyone in the 99%.
Right.
That's true.
And then
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
yeah.
I'm speaking. I'm
Because you
speaking
and
for
I
your
are-
audience.
You and I are filthy capitalists and only care about the 1%. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, Brecken, what's
All right.
you're
I
an on the
am
top guy?
an on the top guy, and my opinion holds that way because of like sanitary reasons. It's easier to not touch the rest of the toilet paper roll and rip it off if it goes on the top instead of on the bottom. If it's on the bottom, you just like the cat rolling it over the top, you just keep pulling, Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I'm totally down. Like on top is
Yeah.
it's objectively true. Like
Well,
why
okay.
on earth would you make
Objectively
it
is like a
farther
really big
away
word, but
from the
sure.
toilet. What was that?
Objectively seems to be a little strong of a word there, but
You know what? When I'm talking about my toilet paper, there are certain things that I do not budge on,
that's fair.
and this is.
I'll
one
be
of them.
honest. I am so petty about this that it's very difficult to like switch the toilet paper rolls in my at my job, my like 9 to 5 job, and every time I see a toilet paper roll while I'm sitting there, looking at Twitter, pretending to do my business,
Right.
I flip them around and I almost cut a finger off every time I do it, but I do it for my toilet paper. Yeah.
Do it for the toilet
Yep.
paper.
Wow.
But no, like on top is just so much easier. Like it's okay if you think about it, it's closer to the toilet, so it's like I just need to.
Closer.
Because you don't have the entire toilet paper roll to get to the. Toilet
It's
paper, right?
closer approximately by the diameter of the toilet paper roll.
Yeah, but it
Right.
depends. It all depends about where it's at in the role. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
True.
know.
All right.
I don't think it's as big as a deal if we make it, but at the same time, I'm with you.
All right.
Like I'll concede that for sure. But I think the whole like having a dog or cat thing makes sense, right?
It's a good argument.
Honestly, I hate those people because they're just terrible.
Well, first off, they own cats. Oh,
Yeah.
That's
I mean, if you listen to this podcast, I don't hate you, but it's whatever. No, it's just, I remember at church, going to church. Sam, do you remember this? They always had it on the bottom.
Yeah, I think
At church.
industrial. Okay, this is another thing. Is industrial, like like having one at a company or something? Does that make a difference? Because if it's like a large role, like I think us at the church, like we have it at the bottom too, but it's for like necessary reasons. Like, does that matter?
What do you mean? Like, what
Like, doesn't
possible
it come
reason
out,
would there be?
It comes out in like a weird, like, you know what I mean? Like on like a big scale. Like, doesn't have to come through a thing, so it chops it off at the right angle.
Huh. Yeah. I still just don't trust people that do that.
No, that's fair. I'm fine with that.
It's just stupid. Yeah. So, okay. At the end of the day, it's a 3-0.
3-0.
It's a clean sweep. Clean sweep.
Clean sweep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's objectively, by the laws of the best way to explain it, toilet paper goes on top. If it's on bottom, you're a nerd. So, yeah. So that means that we're 3 debates in, and Sam, it is back to you. What is our next debate?
Man, that's rough. Oh, jeez. This one's intriguing. Best Batman movie.
I knew he was gonna go for this one.
Yeah.
Reckon, let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah. All right. The one with the nipples on the costumes. Just kidding.
Batman and
Just
Robin.
kidding.
Is that just
That is
the
the
one?
true answer.
Or is that a lot of them?
I do enjoy the old campy Tim Burton Batmans.
That one wasn't terribly campy, though.
Holy
It was good.
rusted metal Batman.
No, that was like the Adam West TV show.
That's true. Yeah. But they
Come on.
make that joke, but then Robin like points to the ground and he's like, "No, look, the ground, it's metal and it's rusted with a lot of holes in it." Do you not remember that joke? All right. So
No. Wait, was that in the Tim Burton one?
the Batman and Robin. I think it was the George Clooney one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh,
I
right,
do
with,
not feel qualified to be in this conversation.
Well, with Arnold... Sam, remember when I tried to make you watch the Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze Batman?
Best. There you go.
I do
We
remember
couldn't get
that.
through it, though.
That's
That's why you don't understand this conversation.
Well, I understand it. I just don't know if I. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Anyway,
Well, right. No, like, that's what I'm saying.
Let's move to the actual best Batman movie ever. And
It's
it's
the 3 Christopher Nolan ones, right?
well, yeah, it's in between those 3. The Dark Knight, hands down, not because of
Yes.
Batman,
Yes.
but
Yes.
because
yes,
of Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker was
Mhm.
iconic. There will never be a better Joker performance ever.
Amen. Reckon
Okay.
I could not agree with you more.
Awesome.
Okay, is that pretty much your entire argument? Just Heath
I mean
Ledger?
that's my
Do
entire
you-
argument. I like Heath Ledger. Like, tell me about say something about a better Joker. Like, you cannot beat him.
That's fair.
The just like pure genius of Heath Ledger's character partnered with, I think, Christian Bale finding himself more
Absolutely.
within Batman and playing the Batman character. It
Absolutely.
teams up for a great movie that doesn't feel forced. It
Mhm.
feels like everyone wanted this movie to come out.
Yep.
And it nailed it. And now I know
Absolutely.
Scott holds a different opinion, but
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's obviously Batman v Superman, right?
I've never honestly seen that.
Batfleck is actually pretty impressive. I'll admit.
He's the best Batman I've ever seen.
Wait, you're serious?
Yeah, he's so good as Batman.
Yeah.
Okay.
The movie's not great, but he as Batman is fantastic.
Yes.
Huh. Better than
He's
Christian
like right
Bale.
out of the. Oh yeah, like well, okay, I said that as if like Christian Bale's bad, but like he is what I wanted out of Batman.
That's fair.
It's unfortunate that the movies he was in weren't great. Okay, so I like Batman Begins a tad more than The Dark Knight. Okay, now before y'all jump down my throat for this, I do have some reasons for this.
Let's
First
hear
of
it.
all, it's a Batman movie primarily. You guys are pointing to the Joker for The Dark Knight, which I agree, he's fantastic in that movie. But it's almost more of a Joker Harvey Dent story than it is a Batman story. He doesn't feel as relevant to the story as he does in Batman Begins. I mean, Batman Begins is literally about Bruce Wayne finding his way back from, having his parents killed. And plus you get Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul, and I just find his conflict really, really intriguing in Batman Begins. And I love origin stories, and the Batman origin story is just awesome. And so, for those reasons, I just love Batman Begins, and I love the costume a lot in Batman Begins. I like it more than in The Dark Knight. And it launched something that obviously lasted, and obviously The Dark Knight is fantastic. I just like Batman Begins a little bit more because of the focus on Bruce Wayne / Batman rather than the villain.
I do enjoy your argument, and I understand it. Maybe it's because I've seen so much of the Batman origin story that I've grown kind of sick of it. Like, I get it. His parents were shot in an alley.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's not that bad. But like The Dark Knight was this completely new premise, I felt like, within the Batman universe. Like, usually you had just tons of villains all partnering together or something. They just threw them in the Tim Burton movies, and then the Joker comes in, and then right at the end, Two-Face. But
right.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, The Dark Knight, the Harvey Dent storyline was awesome, but I was sad that he died at the end. I thought he could have done stuff in The Dark Knight Rises that would have been relevant. I don't know. Yeah, it's honestly a toss-up because they're all amazing. And so I hate...
And
we're splitting hairs.
I hate how disrespected The Dark Knight Rises is, just because The Dark Knight was so good.
Yeah.
Because
and same with Batman Begins.
Because The Dark Knight Rises had this really intriguing Bane character. They didn't do him like they should have done with the comic books, if you want to go that direction. Right. But they had this incredible Bane character that was intimidating in every way imaginable.
Oh, and Tom Hardy is beautiful and awesome at playing Bane.
I think for me, honestly, like, I was just thinking, like, I wanted a Dark Knight character. Like, I wanted a Joker so bad that Bane didn't do too much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was disappointing because I think he was supposed to be in The Dark Knight Rises, and it would have made sense for the Joker to be in The Dark Knight Rises because you think Bane let out, all these criminals. And I think that would have been awesome.
And that opens it up to the whole, like, Arkham Asylum stuff, too,
Honestly, the Arkham games are just amazing. Sam doesn't know.
Yeah.
Because he's not a video game nerd.
Well, he should be.
My bad.
Yeah. If you ever get, like, a reasonable, like, PC, like, legitimate PC and not a stupid Mac, you need to play the Batman Arkham games.
Yeah, well, that will never happen, so.
Oh.
You suck.
I thought it was funny. You bragged about the superiority of PCs versus consoles, which is another great debate topic.
Oh, that's actually a really good one.
Yeah, but then
that's a great one.
Most recent Batman Arkham game came out, Arkham Knight, and you couldn't play it on PC for like 6 months.
Oh yeah, that's well. No, you could. I beat the game while it was still terrible. It was just really choppy and everything.
Yeah,
just disappointing. But then again, I had absolutely nothing else to do that summer, so That was the summer I didn't have a job, and I just lived at my parents'
I remember
house
that.
in their basement.
Good time.
And I came up for food, and that was that. You were in Indiana that summer, weren't you?
Yes, I was in Indiana working.
Yeah, that's right. That's
For
right.
the Lord.
Yeah, doing the Lord's work.
Doing the Lord's work.
That's funny.
I feel like you haven't
All
done a
right.
hard day's work since high school.
You know, tough but fair. But all right. So that was Sam's. Okay.
Tough but fair.
Just to recap, Sam and Brecken are The Dark Knight, and I'm Batman Begins. And it seems like we both put Dark Knight Rises third. Is that correct?
God, it's so close. But I would say after having watched Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises, that Batman Begins slightly edges out Dark Knight Rises for a second. Yeah.
That's rough for me. I like Dark Knight Rises, but maybe that's just because I saw that. I almost feel like I saw that before Batman Begins, so I don't know.
I remember seeing Batman Begins, but I was too young to really realize what was going on until Batman showed up. And then I started playing like the video games and everything. I understood who Ra's al Ghul was, and I was like, wow, this is a game changer. They needed to introduce Ra's al Ghul better, because you don't really get that unless you know the comic books. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's
See, I didn't
that's
know
fair.
the comic book, so that I don't know.
So, Brecken,
Yes.
what's our next debate?
Dude, I feel so strange because I used to use this phrase all the time. Is water wet?
This is such a good debate topic, and I'm not just saying that because I came up with it. It's interesting. I was watching a YouTube video.
I think I may have watched the same thing.
Definitively saying water is not wet.
Yeah.
And it just intrigued the crap out of me. So I'm down to debate it. Do you want me to go first?
Go for it, Scott.
Yes, do go
All
first.
Right, all right. So, water is not wet, okay? Water is what makes things wet. Think about it. If something is wet, it means it has water on it, right? Like, does that seem
or another liquid? The definition is
right.
covered or saturated with water or another liquid.
Wow, you nerd! You look up definitions.
I looked it up so that I could defend the exact same position that you're defending. So
hey, yeah. So like, water really can't be covered in other liquids or in itself. Obviously, it is a liquid, or it is itself, right? And so it doesn't make any sense to say that water is wet, because it's just, that would be like saying water is covered in water, and I mean,
hey,
that doesn't make any sense.
If you add water to water, you just get more water.
Yeah,
water always wins.
Yes. So I don't know. Is there another side to this debate, Sam?
Yeah, I honestly am not even going to chime in. I mean, I concede to your guys' point of view, personally.
So you definitely watched the same YouTube video, excuse me, that I watched, and it was a game changer for me, because before that, is water wet? Like that's supposed to mean like yes in a sarcastic way. But then I really started to think about it, and I was like, how can water be wet if it's the thing that makes other things wet? And it changed my mind. It was beautiful.
Yeah. That guy is awesome, and I wish I knew his name so I could promote his channel for all,
That's what we have show
all of
notes
our
for.
Listeners. Right. So, okay. So that one was not as interesting. Thanks, Brecken.
Sorry.
Water is not wet. It's that'd be a stupid thing to say. Now, my turn comes around, and I'm seeing several really solid debate topics, and this one really grinds my gears. All right. Does pineapple go on pizza?
Oh.
All right, Sam, you haven't started in a while, so tell us, does pineapple go on pizza?
That's fair. And I want to say this as an expert, as someone who worked at a pizza restaurant for a while. So I feel like, honestly, you all should probably concede to my expertise on this. Should pineapple belong on pizza? No. Okay, so maybe some of you have different palates than mine, and I get that, like, sure. But, like, honestly, if I'm eating pizza, I'm not, like, super interested in it being sweet. That's my big thing.
Oh, thank you. Brecken, I dare you to disagree with that.
All right. Okay, guys. So, as a person of individualistic expression, I think it's perfectly fine if you put pineapple on your pizza, and I also think it's perfectly fine if I throw your pizza on the floor if you put pineapple on it.
Oh, thank you.
But to make the argument so that this isn't a boring argument, have you guys ever had pineapple and ham pizza with extra salty ham? You get this really delicious sweet and salty mixture that I hate to say that I have enjoyed at times.
Oh my god.
But
if you say you have,
just
you're
like,
off the podcast.
Just like I would never call a hot dog a sandwich. If you put pineapple on a pizza, I will never call that pizza. That is a dessert.
I mean, like, that's fine. Like, you can call it pizza. I'm not concerned about it. It is kind of like a personal thing. Like, I think my wife, like, she likes Hawaiian pizza, and that's fine, but she can be wrong too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully she doesn't listen to this.
I bet she will.
Yeah.
We will at her in the tweets just to make sure.
Right. So, okay, it seems that we have another unanimous debate that pineapple absolutely does not go on pizza.
Yes, sir.
And if you think it does, you're stupid. But keep listening to the podcast, obviously.
Yeah, we love you. Please stay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
okay, so
alrighty.
that was mine, right? Okay, so it's back to Sam. Sam, do you have another debate topic?
Wait, didn't I pick the Batman one? Anyway.
Wait.
Oh, can we talk about
what
this
did Brecken
earlier,
say?
though?
He said is water wet.
Yeah, we
so
did. Is water wet?
So it's you, man.
Yeah, man.
Okay, let's go with this one. We talked about this earlier. What's the best Kendrick song?
Okay.
Brecken, you can go first on this one.
Man, just out of every song, it's tough. I'm going to have to narrow it down between, let's see, DNA, Swimming Pools, and Humble, I believe. And
okay,
man, old Kendrick was so good. Just the way that he would change his voice up in Swimming Pools when he switches to his like inner conscious and
conscience, I think.
One of the two
with an N.
Okay. And he's like talking through himself. Like I find myself doing that too, so I really related to that song, even though it's, about diving into a swimming pool full of liquor. But DNA,
I can see why you relate to it.
DNA has like the beat switches that happen. So you start out like the first half of the song, and you've got I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. But then they switch over, and Kendrick just starts rapping fast, like, tell me something, you can't tell me nothing. Man, I love it so much. I have to go with Swimming Pools, though. It's what turned me on to Kendrick, and I will forever love that song.
No, that's a real fair assessment. I love that song.
I'd like to point out just how white we all are.
No, that's fair. We're listening to this as, easily outsiders to the
22, 23-year-old white men, so just totally...
That's not the target
clear
demographic.
the decks on that.
No, I get you. So, For me personally, man, it's tough. I think To Pimp a Butterfly, that whole album was kind of like a game changer for, I don't know, social justice as a hip hop genre. Like he did so much in that area, and so I love that album personally. All Right, I love that song.
Yeah.
Like it's so different. It just adds like a little bit of, I don't know, something. I love Humble. That's probably, I don't know. It's probably between All Right and Humble for me. Like I'll listen to those two pretty consistently. Probably Humble. Maybe because it speaks to me on a spiritual level, but
You just got to be humble.
Fair. Yeah, for me it's DNA. Like, to be honest, that's the only song I've listened to multiple times because, again, I'm a 22-year-old white man in college, so I'm very out of touch with the hip-hop culture. But every time I hear it, I get PRs in the gym. And so, honestly, like, that just that throws it home for me.
That's the way to do it.
I freaking love that song. It's got such a good beat to it. The music video with Don Cheadle is awesome.
yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I don't know, it's one of my favorite songs. It's like if I'm ever needing like a pump up song, I just go to DNA by Kendrick.
Yeah, that's the one to go to.
I don't know. I'm not really into the hip hop genre too much, but Kendrick is a talented musician, so I do enjoy his DNA song. So
He is indeed.
And I just realized how white that sentence just sounded. I do quite enjoy his DNA song. Oh man.
No, it's fair. But I feel like we should appreciate that stuff. You know, like hip hop is a genre that I've been into somewhat late, even before, like when I was growing up, but like even more now, like people like Kendrick and Kanye and just like the creativity and Chance and Childish Gambino and people like them, like what they're bringing to the table musically is just so important.
I started out.
I'm just appreciating
I started out basically high school football locker rooms. They got me onto Eminem, Lil Wayne, Drake, all those guys, Young Money. Yeah,
Lil Wayne.
And the thing is, like, Lil Wayne and Eminem have some lyrically genius songs that they just throw so many references to pop culture or history or stuff like that. Like everything that they say has either a double meaning or like a historical reference behind it. And that's what I love about it. That sounds super nerdy, like we've been saying. That sounds super white, but I really love that about the rap songs. And then that just moves into like Kendrick and Kanye and all those guys. I've just started to like the genre in general.
Yeah. No, I like listening to hip hop. I just never got into like individual songs. Like if it's just going on like in a bar or a club, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm totally down with this. But in terms of like, oh, listen to the lyrics of the song, like, I don't know. I've never been like one to really dive deep into that stuff. So
definitely.
I don't know. Yeah. So, okay, so that was Sam. So it looks like you're up next.
Oh, I'm up
guys,
next.
If you're still here, if you're still listening to us, I really appreciate this. I have no idea how long this thing is going to go on, but we're just having a lot of fun. We're just chilling. We're just relaxing, and we'll keep talking as long as you want us to talk. Maybe.
Well, they can't really vote, so we're going to keep talking until they turn us off.
That's a valid point. So, Brecken, what are we debating next?
We're going to go with Coke or Pepsi, otherwise known as bepis.
Coke or bepis?
Bepis.
Now, Scott, before we even get into this, like, tell me where this bepis thing came from. I've never heard of it.
Honestly, it's probably Reddit or just the internet in general. I've just heard it called bepis, and that's what I've called it from the first time I heard it.
Just blame it on Reddit. There
Coke
you go.
or bepis?
All right.
Yeah, it's probably Reddit. Yeah. Okay, who do you want to go first?
You guys deck it out, and then I'll come in and be the swooping savior.
All right. I will take this like a man. It's bepis.
Bepis.
Bepis is the superior product.
Okay.
And I don't say this lightly because honestly, they taste very similar. Like, you could probably make the argument they taste the exact same, but I've just had this inclination that Pepsi is better.
Okay.
And
inclination, you said?
Yeah, like, I don't know. When I drink a Diet Pepsi versus a Diet Coke, I'm like, yeah, the Pepsi's better, or just a Pepsi versus a Coke. Now, I do like Coke Zero better than I like whatever the Pepsi
Retweet.
Zero, Pepsi's
Diet
Zero
Pepsi.
Sugar or whatever.
Yeah. And Pepsi Max.
Interesting.
Yeah, Pepsi Max. That's what it's called.
You're locally sourced diabetic here with the Diet
Right.
Pepsis.
I was gonna say, Brecken, with your diabetes, are you even able to like?
I can weigh in on this
Sugar.
conversation. I actually have some science behind it, but I'm intrigued.
Wow.
I'm intrigued
That's
as
amazing.
to what everyone's opinion is before I lay down the facts.
The aftertaste of Bepis or Pepsi is I just love saying Bepis. It's fun. But the aftertaste is it's way better than it is for Coke. For me at least. The aftertaste of Coke is a little off. There's something about it that I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed it on the way down, but now I feel like, I don't know, my stomach might be, eroding from the inside. Whereas, like, with Pepsi, I'm like, yeah, that worked. That
Okay.
worked.
All right.
So
it's Pepsi.
That's why I go
for
Pepsi.
Scott. All right.
and also because my mom, she's a huge Diet Pepsi fan. And again, it's New Year's, or it's the last episode of the new year, and I got thrown my mom because I talk about her all the time, which trust me, I've realized how much I mention my mom.
She's a great lady.
She's a saint. But yeah, she loves Diet Pepsi, and that's kind of what I grew up drinking, and so I don't know. It's got to be Pepsi for me.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
Who you got next?
All right. Sam.
Sam, you want Sam to go next?
Give it to me.
Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so this is an interesting thing, and I think we need to weigh on this. Is this like Pepsi products and Coke products, or just Pepsi and Coke
It's
themselves?
Pepsi and Coke. It's themselves.
Yeah. Typically, this debate is strictly Coke and Pepsi. If we're going products, it changes the argument, though. I will agree.
Yeah, it's Pepsi versus Coke in terms of the actual pop or soda. Whoa.
Okay,
We'll get to that.
okay.
later.
That changes things a little bit, because I mean, like, Dr. Pepper is honestly one of my favorite. pops or
game
sodas,
changer.
or whatever you want to say it. Like, that's a huge thing, but I don't know if you guys have ever had like Coke from Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
Like, legitimately been in Mexico.
I live
and
in
had
Grand
Coke.
Island. It's
Like,
basically Mexico.
that'll change your. That's fair. Like, that'll really change your
Yes.
life if you have Coke from a glass bottle. Like, that's something that will give you a spiritual experience, in my opinion. So for me, it's Coke. I mean, if we even go into like the more like Coke products debate, like, I love Dr. Pepper and stuff. But I like Mountain Dew too, so it's hard to say that there. But Coke for me personally. Breck, what do you think?
First off, isn't Dr. Pepper its own separate product? Dr. Pepper 7
Nope.
Up, or were they purchased?
It's a Coke product.
It's a Coke product
Dr. Pepper
now?
and 7-Up or Coke.
Okay.
Yep.
Dang. All right. Yeah, strictly Coke versus Pepsi. I would say if you gave me the choice between drinking a Coke and a Pepsi, I would choose Coke. But hold on. The scientific fact is the 9 out of 10 people, if you do a blind taste test between the two, prefer Pepsi because it's slightly sweeter. But then again, if you do a 3-glass test, you pour 2 with one of the pops and then 1 with another and try to get someone to differentiate between the two, you can't tell the difference. So they're basically the same thing.
Interesting.
Again,
I agree. There's very little difference between
Yeah.
the two.
Well, there is a difference.
I'd
though,
say carbonation for Coke is the difference. I think Coke is slightly more carbonated, and that's why I like it better.
Oh my gosh, you guys! I swear you talked before this podcast. I swear
really
every 2-1 debate has been you two versus me.
I am part of a Coca-Cola family, so I have to. For my little brother,
it's
represent.
It's interesting though. Like, I mean, even if you, I don't know, like you think of drinks and stuff, they talk like, oh, Jack and Coke, rum and Coke. Like, you know, you don't Jack and Pepsi.
That's because they don't know the word bepis.
Bepis.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that's for.
Oh no.
Oh man,
that's hilarious.
That's fair.
But
that's fair.
If we're gonna go down the products route, Pepsi holds Mountain Dew, and I will have to say Mountain Dew and Diet Mountain Dew are staples of my childhood. Staplehoods.
Honestly, Diet Mountain Dew is the grossest thing in the world.
I agree.
Right.
I'm not a fan.
I can't stand it.
Fine. You can have that win, Sam.
I mean, I get it with you and your diabetes and all.
Yeah.
Ew. Which one keeps you alive?
Well, it depends on if I have high or low blood sugar, so.
Hey. Oh, man. Dude, we are powering through these. Okay, so the next debate topic, I believe it's me, right?
Yep.
So the next debate topic, we brought it up earlier, but it's, I don't know how much Sam can contribute to this because he's not much of a gamer, but PC versus console.
Please.
PC versus console.
Can contribute a ton to this one.
Well, you're an Olson. You don't need to know facts behind the debate before you have an opinion on
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
All right. Sam, you want to go first?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Man, I can go first. Personally, when it comes all down to me, it comes down to two factors. One, unity between different devices, and two, sexiness. Number one, like I and maybe PC has this capability. I don't really know too much, but for me, like Max, like I'm able to like start even a text on my computer, let's say, and finish it on my phone or iPad or whatever. It just seems like there's so much unity between all the different devices.
Wait, are we doing
that's like a
PC?
Are we doing Mac versus PC?
Are we doing Mac versus PC?
Actually,
or PC
I like
versus
that
console?
better.
Yeah, me too.
Because PC versus console is a done debate.
PC versus console, I've got nothing to say.
Mac
I
versus
thought that's
PC.
what we meant.
I like that. Go for
Okay.
it. Continue your Mac
Okay,
versus
just
PC.
as a personal person. Okay. And then as we go with sexiness, like I don't know, like there's something about like the independent nature of so many like PC people. It's just like it kind of gets lost in the design quality and the sleekness and like the marketing and just everything that goes along with it. Mac just has this ability to make me look at something and be like, "Oh, I want that."
Okay.
For my life. That will make my life better. And maybe that's just a marketing ploy, but honestly, that does it for me.
That's a good argument from an artsy fartsy hipster. From someone who.
Hey, I mean, you know what? That's fine. That's
from
fine.
Someone who has downloaded multiple drivers onto a PC. Obviously, PCs are better. I love your argument, and I love the compatibility between Apple products. I just think that Apple is an evil corporation, so I can never bow down to them. PC wins for me.
Wait, more evil than Microsoft?
Yes. Microsoft isn't nearly as pretty. All right, Scott. lay the facts down.
All right. I'm finna go off right now.
I'm excited for this.
Okay. So first of all, the reason I'm a PC hardcore fanatic is because I'm allowed to choose exactly which parts go into my computer.
Retweet.
So, for example, the PC I'm recording on now, I built with my own two hands because I was like, hey, I want this specific graphics card, or I want this specific CPU, or this specific motherboard. With a Mac, you're kind of tied into whatever the heck, Steve Jobs' ghost wants you to buy, right? And so I'm able to, mix and match parts, and, a PC is able to, they're like, whatever, you do you. Plus, that allows me to save me money. Plus, Windows allows me to game. Like, I can game and play whatever game I want. Whereas Mac is like, yeah, I'll let you play those games that you were playing 10 years ago. And, maybe you'll be able to update your progress from those games 10 years ago. And honestly, the whole cohesiveness of the design, because I'm such a technology nerd, it doesn't really matter to me. And so, like, I get the argument, like, okay, all of these Mac products are perfectly, they're fine-tuned to work together. But it doesn't matter to me because I'm a tech guy, and I'm like, okay, I can figure that out myself. I want to be able to perfectly fine-tune each part individually. And so for that reason, I'm definitely a PC guy. Plus, PC components allow me to run Linux on them, and Linux is just the best operating system, or the best kernel for an operating system that's ever been developed. And so for Linux and the compatibility problems, PC is far superior to Mac.
See, all the things that you said are gibberish and does not matter to me one bit. I have specific needs, and Mac fits those needs perfectly more than a PC would. So, you know what? You keep your arguments.
For all of you who are groaning right now because we got Scott on a computer topic again, we're sorry.
Yeah. I'll talk about the internet again.
Please
so
come
there
back.
There are 5 layers to the internet. The first layer.
Someone reset Scott. Sam, can you hit him or something?
Yeah, I'll go push his reset button.
Just like, Brecken, do you have a strong opinion on this?
PC versus Mac. I'm a PC guy all the way, mostly because I hate Apple. Like, honestly,
Heyo.
But another reason is
finally won a topic.
Another reason I like PC is because of gaming, which I'm surprised you didn't bring up.
I did, didn't I?
You brought up a lot of the graphic stuff. I don't know. I started to tune out once you started talking about computers.
That's definitely a reason. Of course you did. I remember our internet episodes. You were just like, yeah, totally. Yeah, I understand what you're talking about. You didn't understand a word I was saying.
Oh, I was so lost. I was dazed and confused.
Oh, man.
But I'm a PC guy because you can look into the background of your computer and see what it's like thinking, kind of,
Yeah.
Whereas with a Mac, you can go into Notepad, I guess.
See, that stuff just doesn't, like, it just works for me. I know Scott's like makes fun of like it just works argument.
Just works.
But personally, like, it does exactly what I need it to do. And honestly, I have a PC for work things, and it's fine, but like, I honestly just feel lost on it sometimes. And maybe that's my own, like, not knowing what PCs do because I grew up with Macs.
Yeah.
But honestly, Apple products work great for me and do what I need them to do. And I don't know.
That's
just personally, that's me. And I get your guys's, like, I'm not like a gamer like you guys, even going back to this PC console debate. Like, I get that. Like, sure, like, you can go to PC console. Like, Mac doesn't even have like an area for that. Yeah. But I'll give you that one. But personally, Apple, for me, it's just like this sleek, sexy design that I love. And do you have an iPhone, Brecken?
No, Samsung Galaxy.
Okay. Oh, that's too bad.
Suck
anyway.
I love bloatware.
No joke. That's why I want the Google Pixel.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
In your defense, Sam, Macs have some of the most beautiful displays on their technology I have ever seen. The Retina display is one of the craziest, most beautiful things I've ever looked at. So
that's probably fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm honestly like a huge like design freak. Like I love like things that are just set up aesthetically like beautiful. So personally, that's like a huge draw to me. Just the unity of it all, and just like the it's pretty like it's a beautiful technology. So personally,
Yeah.
I think we can settle this. Like, yeah, it's like a 2-against-1 thing, but it is a personal thing. I think you guys can.
Yeah.
I mean, you use what you want, but if you use Mac, what the heck? Stop listening.
Again, please don't stop listening.
Please don't. We're not at that point.
Please.
Man. All right. So who was that? That was me, right?
That was you, I believe.
Okay, we're
And
over an hour.
We didn't even touch on it, but yeah.
All right. Well, guys, we're at the end of our year-end extravaganza. I really appreciate you guys just tuning in, enjoying the conversation. We just did this because, honestly, I was really lazy this week, and I didn't get any research done. So I just
there you go.
Decided to get a debate topics sort of thing going on. Who knows? Maybe we'll make this a yearly tradition. But it was really awesome having Sam come on. It was a lot of fun to talk with him. Sam, we really appreciate you.
Well, hey, I'm always glad.
Yeah. No, I seriously appreciate it. Brecken, it was great to have you back. Because apparently I don't have you on here very much.
You keep cutting me out. I don't know why.
Yeah. So, guys, we really appreciate you guys listening. We got some cool stuff that we're gonna be figuring out here in the new year. And yeah, so keep listening. We got some cool topics lined up, and we will talk to you guys when we talk to you.
Get learning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.